Hi, welcome to Bret's Table here on a Sunday morning. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I clicked on the link the first time and it said broadcast failed. So maybe that's indicative of the week that we've had last week with the horrific events here in the U.S. But alas, we are here on a Sunday morning at Bret's Table here in St. Paul, Minnesota. And today, I couldn't figure out what I was going to teach today or what I might even, have for lunch. And then I thought, it's winter and I keep going to the market and seeing all this citrus. And it's like, oh, duh, we're in the middle of citrus season. So why not make a citrus salad of some kind? So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to have, so the first thing I'm going to do is, I've got a navel orange here. So what I've washed, and I'm actually going to zest some of it. Actually, I could do it right into the bowl here. So why not use the zest when you're cooking with citrus? Why not start with the zest? There's a lot of flavor in it, a lot of oils, so we might as well use it, right? We don't need to use a lot. We'll just use some of it. And I'm putting it right in the bowl that we will use to dress the salad. Set that aside. And then we've got this orange, and what I'm going to do is what's called supreme. So I'm going to cut the top and the bottom off, and then I'm going to take and cut the rind and the pith from the orange. And you do this only for your dearest friends and family because it takes a bit of work. That's why it's called the supreme. So we just go all the way around and take all the pith off, or as much pith as you can. And we're just going to get rid of this, get it out of the way. And then we take and cut the orange segments in between the membrane. And growing up in Florida, we had citrus trees in our yard, so we had, access to a lot of citrus and would spend many a day doing exactly this because the oranges were free. So you go all the way around, cutting out each segment. And like I said, it takes a little bit of time, but it's delicious. And then once we're done, we're going to take some of this juice, just squeeze it out from the membrane, because this will be part of our vinaigrette that we make. So we're going to set that aside for a moment, set this aside as well, and let's talk about this vegetable here. This is what is called endive by the California Growers Association that produces this particular vegetable. And This is grown in two parts. You grow a root. It's from the chicory family, and so they grow the root in the summer and harvest the root, cut off the leaves, and then when they want to produce this torpedo-shaped vegetable, they grow it. The root is sprouted again in complete darkness so that it is white. So, and there's also a purple variety. So this is called endive. There's another vegetable that is a curly leaf lettuce, and that is called curly endive. They're both from the chicory family, and curly endive, escarole, frise are all similar, but two totally different vegetables. So this is called endive. The other vegetable is called endive. So what we're going to do here, I'm making a salad for one today. So we're going to take this vegetable and cut off the ends. And I'm only going to use half of it, maybe not even half. And sometimes there is a core here that I'm going to cut out because it's quite tough. And you can also take this, cut these in half and put them in a gratin pan, a gratin dish, and cover about halfway up with chicken stock or vegetable stock. And you can braise these, for a delicious side dish. It's kind of peppery. Would be great to serve with roasted chicken. So another option to cook this particular vegetable. So I'm just going to cut the core out of this half. And I think I will use the smaller half today because, like I said, I'm making a salad for one. So we'll just chop that up and set that aside. And actually, why don't I'm going to go back to my vinaigrette so that I can put all of my lettuce greens in the vinaigrette after it's made. So the next ingredient that I have is a sherry vinegar. So we'll add that to my orange. And the sherry vinegar is this Pedro Jimenez sweet sherry vinegar that's from Spain. And I'm going to add my favorite Dijon mustard called Edmond Fallot from Dijon, France. So we're going to put about a teaspoon of Dijon in. And the Dijon mustard helps to emulsify the acid and the oil, so that's why I'm including that. And then I'm going to take a little bit of salt and add that. I'm adding the salt to the acid, the vinegar, before I add the olive oil, so that the salt will dissolve in the acid. And I'm just going to mix that together, let the salt dissolve. I've got a little bit of pepper here that I'm going to add, not too much, because we'll talk about an ingredient that is very peppery. So now I'm going to take this beautiful organic olive oil and just start drizzling that in. And as you can see, this is making quite a bit of vinaigrette. And I obviously will not need all of this for my salad today. So I'm just going to take and pour some of it out to have for another time. So you can save this for another meal. But now I can take and start putting my vegetables in the vinaigrette as we go. The next ingredient I have is a romaine lettuce, so we're obviously not going to be using all this, just using part of it. Maybe even a quarter. So get this out of the way. And you can tear it or you can chop it. I'm just going to chop it up today. Some lettuces, if you chop, they tend to turn brown, but romaine tends to be pretty good at not turning brown on you when you chop it. And the next thing I have is some arugula, which is a type of rocket lettuce. This is the lettuce or vegetable that's very peppery. So I'm going to add my arugula to my salad greens. And I have a bit of parsley, so I'm going to add some parsley leaves. Parsley, yes, actually has a wonderful taste. So we're going to add that. And I've got, on my recipe on my blog, I have an apple, but the pears looked exceptionally good today or yesterday. So I'm going to just take maybe half a pear or a quarter of a pear. And I'm going to leave the skin on and just dice it up and add my pear. And get all this out of the way. And I have some walnuts that I toasted on the cooktop. It took about 5 minutes in a dry pan, just shaking the walnuts around. So I won't use all of those today. Take about half and chop these up and add those to my salad. And what else do I have? Oh, I've got, this is not in my recipe, but this is a pomegranate. So I just cut it in half across the equator. And what I do, move this one out of the way, is the seeds can be tricky to get out. So what I do, and sometimes people will submerge this underwater and try to pick the seeds out of the pomegranate that way. But what I do is I just turn it over and spank the underside of the fruit, and the pomegranate seeds just fall out. So that's all there is to getting pomegranate seeds out of the pomegranate. And the last thing I'm going to add is this beautiful Roquefort cheese. This is produced in southern France. Roquefort is about 2.5 hours west of Avignon. Unfortunately, a town that I have yet to visit. But Roquefort cheese is a type of blue cheese, and legally, the only blue cheese in Roquefort can be considered Roquefort. Other blue cheeses are just called blue cheese. because this is an AOC designation for this particular cheese. Delicious, pungent. I love all cheeses, and this Roquefort is one of my favorites. So I'm going to take and cut a little piece of this off my wedge, and just to reiterate, to say the proper way to cut cheese, this wedge was part of a wheel, and if you cut this piece off, this is considered the nose, which is the best part. But when you go to a buffet bar and you see somebody cutting this part off all of the cheeses, they just took the best part of the entire wheel from you. So what I do is I take and cut down the side so that I get a little piece of what's considered the nose, but then I also get all the other flavors that are in the entire wheel, because cheese ages from the outside in, so you want to taste all of the different flavor components going from the outside of the wheel in. So I'm just going to take and leave this for a bit and sprinkle it on at the end. So I think I have all my ingredients in my bowl. So we're just going to toss them together. And when you're making a salad, in the French tradition, they usually serve the salad after the main course. So the host or hostess of the dinner party, they would make the vinaigrette in the bowl, before dinner starts. They would set the greens on top of the vinaigrette, but they wouldn't toss them, or what they call turning the lettuce, until right before they serve it. So it's all ready to go. They don't have to make the vinaigrette. They don't have to wash the lettuces. It's all they have to do is turn the lettuces in the vinaigrette. So, which is exactly what I'm doing now. So I'm going to step away. I've got a salad bowl here. So I'm just going to take, and that is a lot of salad for lunch today. I'll take my supremed oranges, scatter them around. You could cut them if you want, but, and I've got my Roquefort, which I'll scatter on the top. And there it is. There is a beautiful winter salad using ingredients that are available this time of year. Very simple to do. And I look forward to enjoying it with a glass of wine. I think I've got one open in the refrigerator here. So a white from the Savoy region of France. So that will be lunch today. So thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you being here. Live well, eat well, be kind to each other, and we will see you next Sunday. And actually next Sunday I'm thinking of making a chocolate mousse, so and using individual servings for that. So we'll see if something more intriguing comes along between now and next Sunday, but I think next Sunday is chocolate mousse, which you could serve for Valentine's Day with someone that you love. So I will probably need someone to take the chocolate mousse off my hands because there's no way I will be able to eat all of them. So yeah, more to come on that. So appreciate everyone being here. Have a great day, and we will see you next time. So bye now.